Hello and welcome to On Point. I'm Kaya Jones, and today we'll be discussing the current state of the economy and offering some solutions to the problems many families are facing. Here to help me, I have CSUN Professor David Russell of Finance and Real Estate and our go-to bargainista, Julia Scott of BargainBabe.com. Thank you guys both for joining me. How are you guys doing today?
Great.
Very good.
Okay. So it seems that times are tough right now for everyone, and since the economy seems to be getting worse, I thought it'd be very important to highlight what people can do to save money and spend their money more effectively. Professor, what are some of the stresses that come with trying to save money, especially now?
Well, assuming that you have sufficient room in your budget to save money, it's a great time to have money to save. That is, stock prices are down, real estate's down. If you want to invest in mutual funds, now might be an excellent time. Perhaps the best way to save for the long term is through an employer-sponsored plan, such as a 401k plan. That way you never see the money and you're not able to
touch it.
Right.
And usually people, through work, they can set those things up, or through a bank.
Right, and usually the employer, along with the federal government, help you and by giving you incentives or perhaps a match, give you an incentive to save for your own retirement. But again, that does impact your take-home pay, though not as much as you receive in savings. So there is a major benefit for saving for your retirement. However, saving for something such as a vacation or first-time home purchase, those vehicles and methods are a little more complicated.
Is there anything out there still for the average Joe to save money?
Absolutely. The Roth IRA is really the best vehicle for saving for something like a first-time home or for your retirement. The access to funding is much better than, say, a 401k, and there are major tax benefits. So I would encourage viewers to use a Roth 401k.
And our
Excuse me, a Roth IRA. There's a new plan called the Roth 401k that has some nice features as well, but that's not in wide distribution yet. A Roth IRA is the best vehicle for, as you say, the average Joe.
Okay, and are piggy banks still in style? Because I know they have those coin stars everywhere, and it's almost like if you just put that extra change away, when you're coming home, do you think it's still a good idea to save that way?
Well, every little bit helps. Even Oprah says she takes pennies off the ground.
Yeah.
But right now interest rates are low, so there's not much incentive in terms of a traditional savings account. But stock prices are low as well, and the idea is that over the long run, you accumulate shares at low prices, and even though there will be some bumps in the road, sometimes major bumps in the road, over the long term, that savings program will benefit you, whether you do it 1 penny at a time or $100 at a time.
I see. And Julia, on BargainBabe.com, I noticed a plethora of ways to save money. Do you think this time everyone's looking to save money no matter their financial status?
Definitely. A lot of people are looking to save money. There's still, sort of the uber-rich category of people that maybe aren't as concerned as the rest of us. But I would say, my readers span a lot of different economic backgrounds, and pretty much everybody's interested in saving money. Everybody sort of has a different idea of what's worth spending their money on and what's worth saving money on. Exactly. But there's a lot of great ways these days to save money. So it really just depends on where you want to spend your money.
And speaking of your site, can you give us an overview of what it is and what you do?
Yes, Bargain Babe is all about saving money in everyday life. I call it a savvy spending site because, everybody saves money, or at least a lot of people hopefully save money, but we still have to spend money. Exactly. Even in tough times like this recession, you have to buy gas for your car. Exactly. And groceries and other things like that. Some expenses you just can't get around. And even if you did cut off all of your spending, it's just not something you can maintain. You're going to have to eventually, go out to dinner or have a little bit of fun, go see a movie. I mean, there are ways that you're going to want to get out, enjoy yourself. So I focus on how to save money on those sort of everyday expenses that we all basically have to spend money on.
Exactly. And it's definitely, right now, they want us to spend money. They want us to put money back into the economy, and that's actually a super hard thing to do when you don't have any money. But Professor, Do you offer any advice outside of teaching, like to friends or family, about what they should be doing with their money right now?
Well, I've been burned a number of times by giving advice that later turned out to be not so good. So beware the stock tip that you hear from a family member or friend, and be careful not to give those, because the repercussions are not always pleasant.
Yeah.
But you know, collectively, we're hunkering down in this recession. People are saving. The savings rate has gone way up. When you pay off debt, that's constructively savings. And the good news is that people are saving. The bad news is when we all save and don't spend, that creates problems with employment and demand for products and services. Therefore, the government wants everybody to spend collectively, but individually they want everyone to save. So there's sort of a paradox there. If everybody saves at the same time, that we kind of have problems. But you need to focus on yourself and save for the future, whether it be for the birth of a child, or a large purchase as a home or a car.
College.
or college savings. You know,
Exactly.
529 plans are an excellent way to save. But again, it's frustrating for many people. They want to save,
Yeah.
but there's simply very little room in the budget for a savings program, and that's why an employer-based plan that maybe you would devote part of any raise that you get to a savings program, and therefore you never see the money.
Exactly.
And it imposes discipline on people that may not have the discipline to do that themselves.
Which is smart. And that's interesting that you said about the housing market. With the housing market actually going down, houses are a lot cheaper due to foreclosures and stuff like that. Is it people are moving out because obviously the bank doesn't want to help refinance them? People that are renting, is it smarter to rent or is it smarter to buy right now?
Well, I tell my students that there's no easy answer to any economic question. The answer is always it depends.
Yeah.
Depends on where your rent is and where the price of a home is and interest rates, etc. Right now, it's certainly getting to be much more attractive to own a home.
Yes.
If you're able to get financing. That's a big problem. That's a big if, because the banks are requiring large down payments. They're scared of what's happened recently, so they're not inclined to give easy credit for the purchase of a home.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with renting. I think you learn a lot from renting, and again, the people that have rented over the last 2 or 3 years are delighted that they didn't lose 20 to 50% in real estate. But I think that going forward, although we may see a little more downside on the housing market, I believe that we're getting very close to a time when people with a long time horizon will benefit from buying a home.
Okay. Speaking of buying, Julia, I noticed on your site about buying a car. I mean, I know a lot of cars are going down in prices. Is it a good time to buy a car right now?
It's a great time to buy a car now if you are in the market for a car and have some money saved up. Don't run out and buy a car just because dealers are willing to cut you a great price. But if you have some money saved up, if you've been thinking about buying a car, it's a great time to start doing some research.
Just to do it, huh?
There's a lot of great resources out there. I pointed to some of them on bargainbabe.com, you know, sites where you can get quotes and maybe competitive ones that you can bring to the dealer and say, hey, can you match this price? Or other places where you can do research about green cars, hybrids, alternative fuel cars. Buying a used car is also a great deal right now because, like you said, Professor, so few people are buying that merchants are really eager to make a deal with you. And so if you do a little work and if you learn to negotiate and ask for a good price, you can get a great deal on a car right now.
It's like the swap meet for a car.